welcome to this chat about the new moon in Virgo happening on August 23rd. This new moon is a powerhouse and it opens the door to eclipse season. So we have this new moon on Saturday the 23rd. 2 weeks later, we have our first eclipse of the season. This is a very potent moment in time. It is an opportunity for newer beginnings, for newer new beginnings, bigger new beginnings. There is extra potential in the air at this time. We also have the ability to tap into higher potentials than we usually do. Every year, one sign gets 2 lunations. This year, it happens to be Virgo. This new moon takes place at 0 degrees of Virgo. Now, Virgo in its highest expression is the Virgoan Earth Priestess. Virgo is the only human of the zodiac, and Virgo's central point is embodying it into reality. Every sign of the zodiac has a sister sign, and that is the sign that is 180 degrees across from it. So where Virgo is the human, the Virgoan Earth Priestess, its sister sign is Pisces. Pisces, being the last sign of the zodiac, is all things spiritual. It's everything that exists on the other side of the veil. Pisces is dissolving into the oneness of it all. This Virgo-Pisces axis is known as the spiritual axis. What we see on this axis is taking the spirituality, the things that exist on the other side of the veil, and grounding it into reality. How can we integrate these two seemingly different realms? That is what Virgo wants to do. Virgo sees the spirituality, the divinity, the purity of this energy that exists on the other side of the veil and wants to bring it through. This is where we get Virgo being about health and wellness. And that is true because Virgo understands that in order to bring this divine energy through in its purest form, our system of our body needs to be functioning at its highest capacity. Virgo sees the body as the temple space for divinity. We are all made of stardust and a spark of life. Virgo not only recognizes that divinity within each of us, but also recognizes the body as the chapel for divinity. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury at its simplest form is the mind. Mercury rules 2 signs, Gemini and Virgo, where Gemini is the more collect information of Mercury, Virgo is the rest and digest part of Mercury. Once again, we're seeing this theme emphasized of taking something and integrating it into the body, digesting it into the body. One of the main themes about Virgo is embodiment. Taking all of these wondrous things that exist outside of us and embodying it, experiencing it fully. Virgo sees health and the health of the different body systems as a way to be a pure channel for divinity, for grace. This being a new moon, we are focused on new beginnings, planting new seeds. Because this new moon is at 0 degrees of Virgo, it's supercharged with more new beginning energy. This is a newer new beginning, a bigger new beginning. Every year, one sign of the zodiac gets 2 lunations. This year it happens to be Virgo. This new moon is at 0 degrees of Virgo. On the 21st of September, we have another new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo, once again amplifying this theme of newer new beginnings. This new moon also opens up eclipse season. We have this new moon, and then the next lunation will be a lunar eclipse. Again, amplifying this theme of newer new beginnings. There is more juice in this moment of time. There is more potential for us to tap into and to harness. If you get one takeaway from this new moon, it is find the vision. Grab onto that big vision that you are dreaming up in your head and plant seeds for it. Grab as much of that vision as you can and bring it into your body, into your life. Set intentional time to dream, to plant seeds, whatever that looks like for you. It could be meditating, it could be writing down your vision, it could be making a Pinterest board on it, whatever it is, but take some set time to be intentional about what you are calling in, to be intentional about planting the seeds, because the amount of potential that is available to you at this moment in time is massive, more than our brains can comprehend. This new moon is square Uranus and Sedna. Right now in the sky, we've got Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Sedna, and Pluto all forming this aspect in the sky. Whenever we see planets at 1 to 2 degrees of any sign at this moment in time, they are making an aspect to those big outer planets in the sky. The big outer planets in the sky are bringing us the force of the new coming in, the dissolving of the old paradigm and the birthing of the new. This new moon being square Uranus and Sedna, Uranus is radical awakening, lightning bolt change. What Uranus also gifts us with is the ability to expand our bandwidth. If we thought the realm of possibilities existed within this bandwidth, Uranus comes in, lightning bolts that bandwidth away, and now suddenly you're open to the miraculous. Things that you thought were miracles, things that you thought were possible, are now within tangible reach, because Uranus came in and radically expanded your bandwidth. Sedna speaks of radical transformation. Sedna is the transformation from mortal to immortal, from human to goddess. Sedna's transformation is one of shamanic initiation. So we've got the radical awakener together with massive transformation, human to immortal. Do you see this awakening that's happening? So the new moon being square, this radical awakening and transformation into the immortal self, into what we thought was impossible. Now, a square is a challenging aspect, it's a point of tension, and squares point to integration. So we are integrating more of this radical transformation that is taking place under this new moon. This new moon is focused, there's just so much focus on the new. This is a moment in time to be focusing on what you're calling in, on where you're going. Things are going to be loud, and do your best to shift away from the past, from the fear, from the anger, from whatever density you're experiencing, into the new, into the awakening that you're having, into the higher version of yourself that you're calling in, that you're becoming. This is more of an integration of that. Uranus and Sedna speak of radical transformation of every part of your being. There is no part of you that is going to be untouched by this transformation. We could be feeling like, oh, I've done so much shedding, I've done so much releasing, I've done so much transformation, how much is left? Well, until you don't recognize any of yourself, there's more left. Surprise! Every part of you will be touched by this transformation. We're in the thick of it, but it's nowhere near done yet. There's more shedding to do. There is more expanding of the new self to do. My sense is that this square is asking us, how can we open up to more of this expansion? How can we soften into this expansion? Change doesn't have to be difficult. We often make it because we're clinging, we're holding on, but change can be soft. It can be welcome. What's adding more juice to this new moon is there are 2 yods. A yod is an aspect in astrology called a finger of God, and it is this very tight aspect. It's pretty rare. We have 2 of them. So this new moon being at 0 degrees of Virgo, the first yod is between Saturn and Neptune, which are together in the sky, and Pluto. So Saturn and Neptune and Pluto are pointing at this new moon in what's known as a finger of God. Saturn, Father Time, Lord of Karma, reality, structure. Saturn holds the boundary of reality. Neptune is the cloud of unknowing. Neptune is oneness. Neptune is higher heart. So we talked about Pisces dissolving into the oneness of it all. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Neptune is the oneness of it all. So we've got Saturn, reality, Father Time, Lord of Karma, together in the sky with Neptune, cloud of unknowing, the oneness. So these 2 together are giving us this dissolving of the old structure for this birth of this new vision that we're only beginning to wrap our heads around. Saturn and Neptune are crumbling of the old foundations to move into the new. These foundations that are so ingrained in society, in the world, that we thought would never change, that we thought would be like this forever, are dissolving so that a new world can be birthed, a new way of living and being. Pluto is the deepest transformation. It is death and rebirth. It is soul evolution. Pluto rules the deep undercurrents of the unconscious. So we've got all that pointing at the sun and the moon. The sun being our conscious part of self, our conscious mind, the moon being our subconscious. This is a lot of juice channeling into us. Yods are points of destiny. They are fated. They are destined. This is God's hand coming into play. To weave it all together, these large forces that are at play right now, Saturn and Neptune, crumbling of foundations to move into the new, Pluto, soul level transformation, are pointing at the sun and the moon, the conscious and the subconscious part of self. The other yod that we have going on is between, once again, Saturn and Neptune, Uranus and Sedna, who we've already talked about, pointing at Homer. Homer is the Hawaiian goddess of fertility. In its essence, this is radical, extreme fertility. Birth and 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 birth. So we've got this one yod, Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto, pointing at the sun and the moon. This is radical, deep transformation into self. And then Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Sedna, in a finger of God, a yod pointing at Homer, birthing the new world. This radical transformation to birth the new world. This radical transformation to birth the new self. This radical transformation to birth the new human. On top of opening up into eclipse season, having access to more juice, to higher potentials, to more potential. This is a radical awakening and transformation of every cell of your being, of every area of your life. And this new moon is an opportunity to grab on to the future that you want to go to and pull it in. This opens up a door to a really interesting conversation about time. With Saturn and Neptune together, we are seeing a crumbling of the way that we always thought of time. We are stepping into a new way of time. We often think of time as a lazy river, something that you are in and it just flows and you are in the river. And that is one way of looking at time, but it is not the only way to experience time. We can also step out of the river and experience time as dynamic tension. What dynamic tension is imagine a plane lifting off the ground and into the sky. There is thrust that is pushing the plane forward, and there is drag, which is going against the plane. The plane needs to have enough thrust until it reaches cruising altitude, where then everything is in equilibrium. The forces of thrust and drag are now in equilibrium. We can view time as this lazy river, or we can view time as this dynamic tension between thrust and drag. Drag is your past. Drag is what's pulling you back to the past. Your thrust is the future and where you are going. The thrust is you propelling yourself into the future. We view time as this dynamic tension. How much of each force are you getting? Is the drag outweighing the thrust? Is the thrust outweighing the drag? Are you leaning more into the future of where you're going, or are you being pulled back by the past? This new moon is a moment in time to focus on the future, to increase your thrust, to pull more of the future into you and seed it into reality. There's still linear action that needs to happen, and that'll occur over time, and that's a good place to view time as the lazy river, the linear action that we need to take. But we can also step out of time and view all of the possibilities, choose the possibility we want to go to, and insert our thrust to go in that direction, and ensure that our thrust outweighs the drag. With all of this juice, there's going to be a lot of noise. You're going to see things on the news and in the collective and on social media and all of these things. When you have the space to hold that in compassion, sure, engage from a place of compassion. But if you cannot stay rooted in compassion for humanity, don't view it, because it's adding to your drag. You need to be focused on your thrust at this moment in time. Pull in the future that you want. It's possible. It's here. It's aligned. Pull it in. Call it in. You have the power. And that is one of the biggest themes of this new moon, is victim of fate versus master of destiny. All eclipses hold this theme, and we'll dive into it in the next eclipse episode. But a victim of fate is akin to sitting in the lazy river and just letting time take you where it will. Sitting in the lazy river and letting these forces act upon you as they will. Or you can become a master of your destiny. You can choose the reality that you want to come in. You can choose the possibility that you want to go to. You can choose your future destiny. But we have to let go of victimhood. And that is one of the shadows of this Virgo Pisces axis, is escapism and victimhood. How can we step out of victimhood and empower ourselves with everything that's present in this moment, even if it's negative? How can we choose empowerment to take steps to where we want to go and the future vision that we are calling in? This is a moment of time. This new moon opens up eclipse season. So we are setting the seeds for how we want our eclipse season to go. Eclipse seasons bring big juice. They bring a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of potential. They're akin to like a little wormhole in time. Set the seeds now and prep for this big quantum leap we're about to make. I love you so much. On my page, you will find practices to help bring this energy into your body, practices to just serve this moment of time. If you liked this video, I would love it if you would give it a thumbs up, subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what you think, let me know how this is resonating, let me know questions and things that you want to see. You can find some resources and ways that we can connect down in the description. Go get them, Tiger. Go get them. This is a moment, and this is juicy. So